question is, how would you describe Pete Carroll and the Raiders' effort in this game? Not the result. The result was they got their face smashed in, but the effort by the Raiders. That's the question. So on this one, I've got Roomba, Hoover Dam, and Boilerplate. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a chopped chicken sandwich is what we're going to make, and we'll see how it turns out. Now, we were a little confused watching this game. Now, why would we be confused? Because we assumed that we tuned in to watch a football game. It looked like some of the Raider defensive players were being held hostage. I mean, my God, they did not want to be there. They did not want to be there. Look at the way they were playing. The effort was non-existent. Non-existent by, and listen, the Raiders are a bad team, all that stuff. The Raiders look like Gunner, our guy in Minnesota clocking in at the Walmart is what they look like. You know what I'm saying? They're just kind of going through it. Not Monday Night Football. They're just kind of, I got to show up. I got my tuna fish sandwich for the break room. I'm good. It was the marching band, but it was the marching band with the drum line a little out of sync. Just a little out of sync. Half the horns pointed backwards. That doesn't seem real good. I mean, I'm not in a band. It doesn't seem real good. The baton twirlers asleep like they're a New York Giants rookie player off to the side. And you slow down the film, or in this case, the digital video. And what did we see? We saw on the Raider defense, Pete Carroll, defensive guy. You saw a lot of arm tackles, traffic cones, illusions of effort. There's a lot of illusions of effort, making it appear that you're actually hustling when you're not actually hustling. Guys jogging towards the ball. La, 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 la. Kind of like they were late to a brunch at the Bellagio. They were just kind of jogging. La, 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 just like that. That's what it actually sounded like when they were jogging. It sounded like that. My God. It is brutal. Absolutely brutal. And I guess they don't have to try. Their season's over, so they'll just kind of go through the motions and that's it. But man alive, no attention to detail. I don't know what the game plan was. I have no idea. Did they even prepare? Did the coaching staff prepare? The players didn't look like they wanted to be there. And it's nights like this Monday night game here, where you separate the people that really love playing football and the people that are there because they make a lot of money, insane amounts of money they could not make in any other business. Like, insane money. Right? But they just happen to fall into it because they won the genetic lottery or whatever, and they're great athletes, but they don't really like football. And there's a lot of guys on that. You know, the guys that are just kind of there for the team photo, those guys, floaters, coasters, the bus riders, that group, the toxins that affect every losing team. And you're 2-8 now, the Raiders. You just put the whole league on notice. That record is not misleading. You stank. You do. And not only do you stink, your entire team appears to be okay with it. There's not a lot of fight. It's not a lot of fight. Now, pivoting, let's talk about the curious case of Geno Smith. Here's Pete Carroll. Let's see. Now, I've heard that Pete is not allowed to criticize Geno Smith. Geno is so soft. How soft is he? He can't take any criticism. If you criticize Geno Smith, you will lose Geno Smith. So if there was ever a day to criticize Geno Smith, this would have been the day. Let's hear what Pete Carroll had to say.
31 dropbacks in that first half, 3 runs. Is that, I mean, I can't imagine that that's something that you like to look at.
Yeah, it wasn't 31 dropbacks. It was a bunch of play action passes, and really, I really wanted to see us do that. And you know, there's only one person to look at, it's me, because I was influenced on the game plan. I loved the way we were chunking them, and we made big plays. But I knew what was happening, you know, and Chip and I knew what was going on, but we were trying to stay with it and to see if we could continue to get the big plays, which we were getting, and then we just stalled in the red zone, and unfortunately, but I don't really care about pleasing people with our run-pass mix. I'm trying to move the football. And when you come back to it, we're supposed to be ahead with that approach. And then we're supposed to come back and run the football in the second half and later in the second quarter. But our inability to get in the zone and to stop them, it didn't work out that way. So I'm totally responsible for how that happened.
The extended dance remix there. It's, nothing short from Pete Carroll. Anyway, listen, he did say there, and that was kind of telling, I'm not here to please people. And the Raiders haven't pleased anyone. So Pete was not wrong when he said that. I'm not here to please people with my run-pass breakdown. He's also not there to please people with the product on the field, which if this was a Vegas show, like if you put this at MGM or New York, one of the casinos, it would have already closed. It literally would have canceled the show. That's it. They're still going.
They stink.
They do. They do. But Geno Smith, is he not one of the great swindlers of the NFL? Seriously. I mean, it's fascinating to me that this has continued as long as it has. A man built to wear a headset and hold a clipboard and deliver packages for Amazon somehow has now started for 4 seasons. 4 seasons as a QB1, he has earned over $100 million and can't play as a starter. It's wild. It's like he slipped through the cracks, Geno Smith. It really is one of the great. I give him credit. I'm not ripping him. I'm impressed. The guy that can't do the job has risen. It's the Peter principle. He's risen to his highest level of incompetence, and he's staying there. You talk about a shortage of quarterbacks. Well, this would indicate there is a shortage of quarterbacks there. My God. Holy crap. And if Joe Sixpack, with 17 burner accounts with different avatars on every one of them, knows that Geno ain't it, and yet now he's started for multiple NFL teams, multi-billion-dollar franchises, can't get the memo. Then you had Ashton Genty, the rookie running back who didn't get a lot of work, and when he did touch the ball, wow, did he stink. He was bad, too, against a bottom 5 run defense, the Dallas Cowboys, against one of the worst defenses in football, and you didn't even try to run the ball. When you did, you couldn't run the ball. That's not just bad. That's an indictment of multiple people, is what that is. It's the football version of an open book test, and you screwed it up. You had the teacher's book. You had the copy with all the answers. You messed it up. Now, it's appropriate that if you've ever been to Vegas, the Raiders Stadium looks like a giant Roomba when you drive by. It looks like a big old Roomba there on the way into Vegas from L.A. And seriously, they actually needed, the Raiders, a robotic vacuum here because there's a lot of mess, a lot of debris that they got to clean up. So get that giant Roomba and crank it up there. At some point, you could almost hear the Star Trek line from years ago, beam me up, Scotty. Get me out of here. I want to go, please. And that's not just the players. That's Pete Carroll. That's everyone involved here. Get me far, far away from this planet. Take me somewhere else, please. The effort was anemic. It was alarming. Not surprising. This is the culture the Raiders have had for years. Different coaches. It's toxic. It's absolutely toxic. They don't fight. They don't scratch and claw. There's a couple types of bad teams. There's the bad teams that know they're bad and don't give a crap, and then there's the bad teams that know they're bad and try. The Raiders are not that team. They're the latter, the team that knows they're bad and they don't really put a lot of effort into it. And so that's it. And it's been that way. It's unwatchable for a generation now, the Raiders. All right, now, going to 30,000 feet in the sky. Who's responsible? Who is responsible for this latest Raiders eyesore of a season? So this is easy. All you have to do is look at the DNA trail. There's a long DNA trail here. And if you peel back the onion and you look at the DNA there, the layers of the onion, it kind of smells like Tom Brady's aftershave. This is the Patriot way gone wild, is what it is. Now, Tom Brady is the patron saint of the NFL. Beyond criticism, the football media seems to refuse to criticize Tom Brady. I don't understand why. Mark Davis basically handed Tom Brady the keys and said, I can't figure this out. You fix it. He gave him the keys to the franchise. He's a bid owner in the Raiders, and he's in on every major decision. And he's like, Mark Davis, listen, you drive, buddy. I've tried to drive this car, and all I've gotten is orange chicken at P.F. Chang's. That's all I've gotten. Good appetizers at P.F. Chang's, but the team sucks. Come on, skinny pants Tom Brady, fix it. And Tom Brady said, okay, Mark Davis, I'm going to fix it. And he took the keys, and he drove the Raider mobile right into the Hoover Dam. Kerflooey! Right into the Hoover Dam. The man that had the Midas touch with the New England Patriots. The Midas touch, right? Now he's got the Saddam touch. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Everything he touches turns to dust at this particular point with the Saddam touch. And forget the GOAT. Oh, he's the GOAT. You can't rip Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Oh, you want to bet? Yeah. How about Tom the Team Killer? Wow. The Raiders actually are in a worse position now than when they had Antonio Pierce and a different front office last year, which is impossible, but they are. They're in a worse position now, and nobody will talk about it. The media, there's like a blackout on talking about Tom Brady and what a terrible job he's done. He's Michael Jordan Charlotte Hornets bad as an executive. Legendary player, clueless at building a roster, hiring a coaching staff, the whole thing. It's kind of like hiring Bob Ross because you used to watch him on PBS. He's dead now. But if you hired him to fix your plumbing, well, you probably don't want Bob Ross to fix your plumbing. Maybe paint a mosaic or something like that, but that's it. So remember, Brady handpicked the coach and the quarterback. He wanted Matthew Stafford as his quarterback. He took him to a retreat in Montana and tried to brainwash him into the cult of Tom Brady. Stafford said, I'm good. He then thought he was going to get Ben Johnson, who's coaching the Bears. That didn't work out either. So what did he end up with? Tom Brady ended up with a Kirkland brand version of the 2013, well, actually not even 2017-18 Seahawks. Pete Carroll light, Geno Smith without the spark, not that he ever had one. It's kind of like ordering a filet mignon, and you get the plate, and there's a Salisbury steak. And well, I didn't order the Salisbury steak. And why is it not on a plate? Why is it on a styrofoam thing? Well, that's what it comes with. It's the Salisbury steak. But I wanted the filet mignon. But I know, but we ran out of that, so we just gave you the Salisbury steak. And it's really good. It's delicious. But I don't want the Salisbury steak. But just enjoy. But I don't want the styrofoam. Just eat it. That's it. The autumn wind is a Raider. No, it's not. The autumn wind is a gas leak. Flatulence. That's the Raiders. That's the Raiders right here. And Tom Brady's fingerprints are all over the body. All over the body here. This is a forensic disaster is what this is here. The chalk outline goes right from the 50-yard line to TB12's front door. Right there. Pick his house. He's got a lot of houses. But let's be real here. All right, Tom Brady believed he could just sprinkle on some Patriot pixie dust with the Raiders, and that would be it. And unfortunately, you're a long way from Foxborough. It's football in the desert, a losing culture. The man's out there planting roses, Tom Brady. He's a gardener and wondering why they're dying. The roses. Yeah, okay. So you can say as a quarterback, he was Mozart, and then as an executive, as the front office puppet master, he's essentially playing the kazoo. Now, I don't mind the kazoo, but you don't pay big money to watch the kazoo, and so welcome to the Tom Brady era in Sin City with no winnings. No winnings. Everyone's a loser. Yeah.